Who was the smartest Ghostface killer in the Scream franchise?
Stupid.
Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. We're taking a deep dive into the Scream franchise to answer one question. Who is the smartest killer of them all? We'll look at what each killer did well and where they slipped up, and let's see who really earned that Ghostface mask. So what's the criteria for this? Well, when I say the smartest Ghostface killer, I don't mean the best at killing. I'm looking at planning, adaptability, psychological manipulation, and how close they came to getting away with it. I'm also factoring in the mistakes that ultimately exposed them. Let's start off with Billy and Stu from Scream 1. They are the classic mastermind and wildcard combo. You've got Billy, who is the mastermind, but then you've got Stu, who's that wildcard. When you look at Billy, he planned the reveal with perfect timing. He played on Sydney's emotions. He knew that she was obviously sad about the events of the year prior with her mother, which ultimately Billy and Stu were involved in. I think the big problem with Billy and Stu is Stu's reliability. He was that wild card and is a bit of a firecracker, so he could have said anything at any point and Billy wouldn't have known. Not just Stu though, I think Billy and Stu got a little bit cocky at the end because both of them thought they were getting away with it, and then they started doing this whole let's bleed ourselves out plan, which ultimately wouldn't have worked if they accidentally got the wrong artery or an artery at all.
Houston, we have a problem here.
One of the biggest issues with Billy and Stu is they underestimated Sydney's resilience. They didn't realise how much of a fighter Sydney was until it was too late for them. If we move on to Mrs. Loomis and Mickey from Scream 2, I feel like those two are very similar to the first two killers because you've got Mrs. Loomis, who is the mastermind, and then you've got Mickey, who is that wild card. He is the Stu in Scream 2 and Mrs. Loomis is the Billy in Scream 2. What Mrs. Loomis has over Mickey is that fake identity. So regardless of what goes down, if anyone is named, then she's got that fake identity to fall back on if she wants to just slip out into the night. She also used Mickey's unhinged persona to throw him under the bus, basically. She knew that she was going to get Mickey caught or she was going to get Mickey killed. So I think in terms of Mrs. Loomis, she was smart in the sense of manipulation, but she was manipulating the wrong people. She was manipulating her partner instead of the people that she was after. I think the biggest problem with the two of them was Mickey. Mickey was unhinged and he could have snapped at any moment. An issue with Mrs. Loomis was she didn't have an exit plan. Yes, she had a fake name, but she went into that finale as if she was going to get out of there. If she never got out of there unscathed, then where was she going to go? Because somebody would have spoke. She gave herself up to be Mrs. Loomis, so if anyone survived, then she's done for. Another issue that Mrs. Loomis has was her motivation was revenge, so she had that tunnel vision. Next we move on to Roman Bridger from Scream 3. Now the one thing that Roman has over every other killer is he is a solo killer, so if he's smart then he's got nobody at his side that could mess it up like Stu or Mickey from the first two movies. We find out that he is the mastermind behind Maureen's death from before the events of Scream 1. He orchestrated the whole thing with Billy and Stu. One of his weaknesses is it was quite similar to Mrs. Loomis. When he reveals himself to be who he actually is, what is his exit strategy? What is his plan after that? It seems like when he revealed himself to Sydney, that was his master plan and he never had a plan after that.
Why don't you take some fucking responsibility? Fuck you! Fuck you!
I feel like he also exposed himself by revealing too much. It would be fun if he revealed a little bit to Sydney, but not the full thing, if he survived, of course. If he doesn't end up the smartest in this video, he definitely was one of the most competent because he did have to work alone. Next, we move on to Jill Roberts and Charlie Walker from Scream 4. Now, Jill's motive was quite simple and self-indulgent. She just wanted that fame and fortune that Sydney had for being a survivor, and at the same time you've got Charlie, who just copies Jill and he will do anything that Jill tells him to do. Her plan, just like Mrs. Loomis, was to be the only survivor, whereas she's wanting to survive to be that victim. If you look at the way she orchestrated it all, I think she was doing it quite successfully. If it wasn't for Sydney surviving, she would have got away with it. And how she staged her injuries, etc., I think that was quite convincing. A major issue that we had with Jill was there was too many people involved that knew what she was doing in the end at the hospital. There was too many loose ends that she had to tie up. Too many people found out what she was doing until ultimately she had to die.
Clear.
If you look at Charlie, I don't think Charlie has any positives whatsoever. He was just head over heels for Jill and would do anything that she says. So when it comes to the smartest Ghostface, he's maybe not the smartest at all. Next up, we've got Richie Kirsch and Amber Freeman from Scream 5. Now, those two characters built up this online Stab Universe fan base online. But one thing that they both did really well is integrate themselves into the friends group that they wanted to hunt down and kill as Ghostface killers. That's quite hard to do without messing it up. And there's two of them that have to do it as well. So they had to be smart in order to integrate themselves into that group. Not only did they integrate themselves into the group, Richie managed to become the boyfriend of one of them, and Amber became the best friend of the other. The problem with both of them is when they were revealed as the Ghostface killers, I think that fan obsession made them a little bit crazy and over the top. I feel like yet again they underestimated the legacy characters like Gail and Sydney, and at the same time I don't think they had an end game. They had multiple people in the house at the end of the movie and their plan was to kill them all, but if they let one of them go by accident, then that plan, if they had any end game plan, would have been ruined. And finally we move on to Wayne Bailey, Ethan and Quinn from Scream 6. The good thing about these three characters being the Ghostface killers is they are a family, so they're tight knit. The problem is there's three of them this time, so at least one of them, it only takes one of them to mess up for the other two to fail. Wayne, being part of the police department, obviously is a strength for these Ghostface killers because he can go to each crime scene, kind of like Dexter, go to each crime scene and remove certain things that would maybe pinpoint the killer to him or his children. Another thing that they'd done really well was to fake Quinn's death, and by doing that they eliminate that whole family as being suspects. The big problem is, like I said, there's three of them, so there's too many moving parts. Just like some of the other previous Ghostface killers, there is a revenge plot there because Richie is Wayne's son, so because that is his son, he's got that tunnel vision of revenge.
There's a very special bond between a father and his first son.
So before I reveal my pick for the smartest Ghostface killers, go ahead in the comment section and let me know who you think the smartest Ghostface killer is. For me though, I believe the smartest Ghostface killer is Jill Roberts from Scream 4. At the time, back in 2011, she understood the assignment. What she wanted to do was become the final girl, the victim, and she almost got away with it. If Sydney died, then nobody would have found out that she was the Ghostface killer, and if that was the case, her plan would have been perfect. Even Sydney admitted at how convincing it was.
How do you think people become famous anymore?
I think her mistake was her pure arrogance at the hospital scene, and because of that, she was caught, but she almost got away with it. So do you agree with my pick for Jill Roberts as being the smartest Ghostface killer? And if it's not Jill Roberts and it's somebody else, then like I said, leave your comments and opinions down below. Let me know what you think, and as always, thanks a lot for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara. Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!